Have you ever gotten in a stalemate where your team can't get past the enemy's defenses and you lose the match? It's not as complicated as it seems, so in part 2 of my one-on-one guide I'll show you how to break through. The first thing to know is why stalemates happen in the first place. Although there are many reasons and situations, they boil down to one of the following. Either your team is too separated from each other, the enemy is too tanky and grouped together, or you have encountered a choke point. Generally, there are 4 steps you can take to overcome a stalemate. Step 1 is to regroup with your team. Step 2 is to determine whether you need to swap characters to counter the enemy. Step 3 is to split the enemy team, either physically or their attention. And the fourth and last step is to push aggressively. Easier said than done, right? So let's break it down a bit further. Regrouping is self-explanatory. If you see 2 or more of your team members were taken out, wait near spawn for your team to regroup. Countering the enemy might need to be a whole video of its own, but try to understand where the enemy is strongest and what team comp would break it. For example, if they are too tanky, you could try switching to a flank character like Psylocke or Black Panther, or an aggressive diver like Hulk or Wolverine to take out their healers. Also, don't sleep on damage boosts from Mantis or Storm, they can go a long way when dealing with tanky team comps. Separating the team doesn't just mean physically, it can also be distracting the healers and DPS so they turn away from the front lines and leave them vulnerable. Approach the fight from different angles and don't just focus on walking through the main path. Find alternate routes to get the drop on the team and catch them off guard, or cause them to have to split their attention. For example, use Strange's portal to get the drop from somewhere they weren't expecting, or Groot's walls to isolate the enemy and take them out. And lastly, push aggressively, but be smart. Take advantage of splitting the enemy team and force them to either pop their ults or be taken out one by one. If they do ult, don't panic and use yours. Decide whether it's best to use your ult then and there or save it for after you regroup with your team and push aggressively again, but now with an ult advantage. Drop a like if you found this useful and comment anything you struggle with that you would like for me to cover next.